know why I actually enjoy this song, but for some very
It's a
strange
classic.
reason,
That's why you enjoy it.
I know, but it's because it's not usually in my, sphere of
Yeah.
music I
In your
enjoy,
lexicon.
but yeah, no, it's okay. 3 minutes until 5 o'clock here on The Big Time on Sky Alpha HD. Remember, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at The Big Time 3, and on Facebook it's The Big Time. Where can you find Sky Alpha HD? I always get the underscores wrong. This is why I need
Okay, so on Facebook it's Sky Alpha HD, on Twitter it's Sky Alpha _HD, and on the gram it's Sky Alpha HD _. That's the one.
Can't we change that? Because it's confusing.
Your management now. Do something.
Yeah, but so are you.
If it's so are you. Are you it? Make us out.
You're alright.
Okay, let's get back into our quite interesting conversation. And we'll start with, let's get this out of the way. Was there or was there no permit for the march?
For what march?
Okay.
For what march?
Continue.
So there was no march. It was a walk. The Transform Lesotho Initiative said we have certain concerns of the youth. We are taking them to the Prime Minister, to the National Assembly, and then young people are like, oh no, those are our issues. Therefore, we are walking with you. So it was a walk. So I don't know what march perhaps is being alleged over here. But anyway, that is that.
That's that.
That is that.
There was no march. There was no permit for the walk.
Absolutely. It was indeed. It was a peaceful walk. And so I don't see why security people would have an issue with it. It was peaceful. For the first time in this country, we saw a march that didn't have any rocks in the road. Did you see any rocks?
No, none.
Did you see anyone throwing stones at anyone?
I saw yesterday the health minister walked with some people, and I don't know whether they had a permit or not. Anyhow, it is 2 minutes to 5 on the Big Time on Sky Alpha HD. Okay, so we've established that we were walking, therefore we didn't require a permit.
For such a walk.
Are we gonna walk again?
Well, we could walk again, but then is it still going to have the same impact or the same message? Our enemies who seem to become enemies, the government, I didn't think they would be enemies. But
I didn't even think they were
because
adversaries.
Since they are not responding accordingly, then I guess they are enemies. Well, they now know our tactic, the walking tactic. So perhaps we should find other ways, other means.
Another way to make our point.
We need to demonstrate some more.
Yeah.
We need to make them hear us. They will hear us, I must say. They will hear. Right now they're closing their ears and they're just trying not to.
They're burying their heads on the sand.
Absolutely. And they will listen. We'll find other ways that we'll announce in due course. We'll find other ways of protesting or other ways of demonstrating.
Okay, let me ask you something before Bella comes back. This movement requires unity.
It does.
You tell me that there is unity amongst the youth. There's unity in the struggles of the youth. I watched on social media as my entrepreneurial mate here put out some clothing that would support this march. This conversation went on for a day about whether this was destructive or not. In fact, there was so much disharmony over the next, I don't know, maybe day and a half after the clothes came out, that it almost felt like the focus had shifted from whether or not we were going to walk in unison. What do you say about our unity being more talk than action?
I must appreciate where there are people together for a certain cause, it's possible that we could have disagreements about how to do things. It's a given. It's going to happen. So the focus on what divides us or opinion is a problem. So we need to mature enough or move away from focusing on the issues that divide us, but rather focus on the issues that unite us. So the issue of merchandise at the time, I remember we have conversations with my brother over here all the time, and we had given an approval that no, anyone who wants to do whatever they want to do, you can do it. Here's the logo, it has been designed for you, no money, you don't have to pay anything. If you want to do merchandise, just do it. So he did it as well, and as he did it, people start coming out and saying this is gonna cause insecurity, some people are not gonna want to come, and we're like, guys, this is not the march, this is not the walk, this is not the struggle, you know. So let's focus on the struggle. The struggle is not about what I'm wearing, but it's about what is the merits of what we're going there with. So we need to learn as young people that we need to focus on what is important, not what divides us. I understand that given the nature of our struggle, we are impoverished, we are living under conditions of serious anger because of what happens. So there's a lot of distrust. When you do something, people think there's no genuineness in what you're doing. But what I always tell my team, when politicians come, try to address us, or young leaders from political parties, I'm like, no, let's let them carry their message, let them do whatever they want to do. The young people of this country, I trust them enough that they will see through someone who's being disingenuous. So even with merchandise, even with whatever, the people who are disingenuous will come out and we will see them. The struggle is much bigger than any individual or any opinion, because what unites us is far, 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 far greater. We want to see this country become something better than it is today. Our country is at its worst, and going any worse than this would be not having a country whatsoever. So we are united in trying to push this country forward, in trying to ensure that we are trying everything that we can. So that's what unites us. So we will focus on that, and we will keep on diverting the focus. When people start shifting towards what divides us, we are like, no, look at this. This is where we are. Look at this.
The country is on its knees. Okay,
It
final
is,
one from me.
indeed.
Sorry, Bella, I said the last one.
It's all right.
This is a more principled question. I think it's not directly about the walk. Whose job is it, in your view, to deal with youth unemployment, and how do we best deal with youth unemployment?
This is the best question I've ever gotten ever since we did the Bacha shutdown.
It's the big time.
Absolutely.
Do we?
Clearly. Unemployment, let me start here. The economy. For the economy to run smoothly, government's job is to facilitate a healthy economy. Government's job is not to hire or fire anyone. People who are hired by government are not called workers, laborers. They are called civil servants for a reason. They serve. So there's no employment in government.
Correct.
This is where we've always been getting it wrong. But then again, government's job is to ensure that there is some type of healthy economic environment for employment, which is what they're not doing at the moment. When we say declare unemployment as in a state of emergency, we are literally saying be able to set up a NACOSEC-like institution, be able to set up a fund where now government budget can be diverted straight into this fund. We can subsidize the private sector to intensify their employment, to ensure that they don't cut salaries, to ensure that they don't retrench, to ensure that they hire more young people. That's what we are saying. We are saying let's have subsidies for all those young people who are trying to make it for themselves in the private sector and hire more young people. That's what we are saying. I don't even want to be long because it's something I'm very passionate about. Government's job is not to hire and fire. It's not that, but it is to ensure that the environment is fertile enough, it is conducive for employment.
It's a good answer.
a good answer.
It's the only answer
That's a
that
very good answer.
that could,
He knows his stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
My question before we get into our very big time question is that it's not just the youth of Lesotho that seem to be having this problem with their leaders. In Nigeria, they're having similar problems with their NSAS strike. Yeah. In Angola, everywhere actually, almost all of the African continent, if people are not having these, very vocal marches or walks or strikes or protests or whatever, it's mostly because the country itself is in some sort of a war or a tip, so they aren't able to do that. Do you think that it's people are picking up on these and then feeling a bit more inclined to do something about the problems in their country, or do you think it's just pure coincidence?
I don't think it's coincidence, honestly. Nothing is a coincidence in this world. What is happening in Africa? What is happening in the world? We're having young people who have always been neglected in any country, actually. Most countries, you look at them, young people have always been used, not necessarily being a part of. So what people need to understand, what our leaders need to understand, is that we are a part of, not going to be a part of tomorrow, but today we are a part of society. So what is happening, we're having a very, I don't want to say impatient youth, but in the eyes of those who are the powers that be, the elders, they see us as being very impatient. You know, when they say oh, we are the ones who are going to inherit. No, we're not inheriting anything. It's not in your hands. You don't own this country.
It's ours too.
It's our country as well. So there's no inheritance that works here. So until the leaders can reconcile the fact that we are a part, we are not, the Prime Minister said there are two countries in this country, in this very seat. That there's another one, and then there's the youth. I mean, that is exactly what is happening. And so what we are saying as young people is that let us come together and unite. Yes, the struggles in Nigeria have to do with other things that we are not. But then if you look at it, very closely, it's about young people saying we have a right as well. We need to have our dignity protected and defended. Let us be a part of everyone. Not you are young. Why are you contesting elections? You are young. Why do you want to start a business? Start it tomorrow. No, we inherit the country tomorrow. Now it's our time. We're gonna vote us out. What do you mean that until you voted us out? Who? We are part of this country. We are one. We own it. We are not. We are owners of this country. Everyone is the son of the soil, daughter of the soil. Yeah.